guys, and welcome back to our channel. Just excuse the state of me, the skin is not skinning at the moment, but who cares. So we just thought that we would update you. We are currently in Sicily. Are we in Sicily? No?
Yes, we are.
And we've not had the best of mornings, to be honest. So started off this morning at 4 o'clock, 20 past 4. I was sick along the motorway on the way to the airport. Get a little bit of travel sickness, but I also think that maybe I've got some other health problems going on, so I need to talk to the doctor when I get back. When we got to the airport, the flight said that it was delayed by half an hour, and then we ended up missing our runway slot, so then we didn't end up taking off for like nearly an hour afterwards. So yeah, we didn't land until about 12, just before 12,
yeah,
and it was meant to be 11. So they were kind of the first things, and then went to pick up our cases. And Jack, would you like to tell them?
Yeah, so we've got, as you might have, I don't know if we've released that video yet. Anyway,
no, they're in another video.
Okay, well, we got a matching set of 3. Both of us got the same cases in different colours, so we're using the big ones. And as I got my, so it's like the ones that have got the 4 wheels, not the 2, so you can roll them along flat. And each wheel has 2 wheels. So on one of mine, one of the wheels is broken off. So it's only the second time I've used it, so I'm pretty upset, if I'm honest.
They're 2 weeks old.
You expect better quality from stuff, and also, I mean, you can't really blame the baggage handlers. I know they're probably quite rough, but at the same time you expect that the cases are built properly and that they're, you know, able to withstand like a bit of bashing. I've got an ongoing issue where basically I've run out of data in Europe. So long story short, I was stuck in Italy a couple of weeks ago and ended up using a load on a day. So I've actually got no data and need to kind of try and sort that situation out, because I'm in Europe for the next month, so I kind of need it for sat-navs and stuff all over the place in different areas. And what else? And then the rental car company, we booked it through the EasyJet app, but apparently they didn't have any info about us. They didn't have flight info, flight number, contact information, so they only hold a car reservation for an hour. So our car was gone, so we had to have a bigger car, and then we had to take out some extra insurance, yada yada yada. They always shaft you where they can. So yeah, hit 175 euros later.
On top of what we've
on top of what I already paid, which wasn't that much, to be fair, but it's probably more than what I even paid for the original rental. Yeah, here we are. So just problem after problem, basically. Oh, and my parents are flying out on Friday, and their flight's been cancelled because of industrial action. So it's just been problem after problem.
Yeah. And the thing about the car, we are going to raise a complaint with EasyJet / the company, because it's just ridiculous. It's not our fault that the flight was delayed, and a couple next to us had the same problem, and there was conflicting information. So we're going to take it up with them, but hopefully, fingers crossed, that's our 5 or 6. I think that's 6 now, because your parents' flight. Our 6 things are bad luck. And Jack's racing this weekend, which I don't actually think we've mentioned anywhere other than you've posted on your Instagram and that.
Yeah, probably not.
But Jack is racing, do you want to tell them? Because I don't really know what
Yeah, so it's the first round of the Italian GT Championship, the Endurance Championship. So it's 4 rounds. First round being this weekend in Sicily, Pegusa in Sicily. So another new circuit for me to learn. And then we've got the other 3 rounds later in the year, July, September and October, where we'll talk about them nearer the time. So,
and he's never met his teammates.
Yeah, so first time working with my 2 teammates. I had 1 test day with the team, so first proper weekend working with the team. First weekend in GT3, so there's a lot of news and firsts this weekend. So,
and I've come along for the ride. So we've just got to where we're staying. It's more of a guest house, did you say, Jack, rather than a hotel?
Yeah, it's more of like a Airbnb guest house, isn't it, really?
Yeah, don't mind our stuff there, but I just thought I'd give a quick room tour before we make it a complete tip. So Jack's just doing a few little work bits there. That's all of my junk there. So these are like just mini sort of sofas, but they're really deep, like benches. They're not very comfortable, so you wouldn't want to sleep on them, but as a seating area, they're, you know, they do the job. Another little bit here. We've got a little table and chairs with obviously mugs and glasses. Tea and coffee set up just there. Mini fridge with water, free of charge in there, so it's provided. In here is the tea and coffee supplies. Then obviously you've got just various different ornaments, lights, etc. And then in here is the bathroom. So we've got a shower, no bath for me sadly. There's me. You've got toilet, bidet, and then Jack's already unpacked his toiletries. And we've got this lovely little feature. We were saying it must have been some sort of old, I don't know, like mill or something. It's got all this dark wood, all these beams. We'll show you the grounds and outside a little bit later. But we then go upstairs where we have the bedroom. Whew. So here is the bed under a nice little canopy. We've got a smart TV over there, which I think the man's going to come along a bit later and just connect it up so we can watch Netflix. And then obviously that just looks down. I'm not going to because I'm scared of heights, but looks down to where Jack is. So it's like a half floor. Are they called mezzanines?
Mezzanine floor, yeah.
Yes, so this is our little home for the next few days. It's called Villa Pastorelli.
Villa Pastorelli, yeah.
And like I say, we'll show you the outside grounds a little bit later on. But they've got a dog, and Jack's made friends with the dog, haven't you, dear?
I have, yeah. Best friend, little kind of big, medium-sized collie sort of thing. We are, yeah, best of friends.
So this is the little doggy from yesterday. Jack's just outside on the phone. Doggy! Hello! Hello, you little top. Hello. He came in last night. We went out for dinner and then he came in and was just sitting with us, weren't you? Yeah.
Hello guys, it is now Thursday morning, or nearly midday. We had a bit of a lay-in, much needed rest. Had breakfast. So basically where we're staying, it's kind of a bit of a villa. And
sorry, there's just some bloke staring at us.
It's a bit of a villa with these like rooms. Obviously we're in one of them, and we basically had breakfast in the guy's house. Sorry, we just walked past some locals and they were staring at us, so we thought we'd better pause. And there's a dog barking. Yeah, so we basically had breakfast in the guy's house.
It was just pastries and then
pastries and a toasty. Bit, you know, I had a couple of cappuccinos. Very nice. We're now just out for a walk, just kind of on the local little pass roads. Like there's a few kind of houses and villas and stuff around.
I'll show you quickly.
Very nice, very pretty.
You can see, because I can't see a thing.
No, yeah, you know, very, very nice area. And yeah, just basically trying to recover after our problematic day yesterday. We had a very nice dinner to end the day. Just in the town down the road, both had a pizza, very nice.
Took some clips, so I'll try and overlap it so you can see.
I had a nice glass of red wine, which was very much needed. What else? Yeah,
we just spent yesterday pretty much sorting out all of the problems.
Loads of problems.
Jack's parents are still now trying to sort an alternative flight, but it's not looking likely, so they're probably not going to be coming. Which means I've got to do my first solo travel home because Jack's going on to a different part of Italy after here. So I will be flying alone, which I'm very nervous about.
She'll be fine.
And then we just had a few other little bits to sort that we needed to sort when we were actually together. And Jack has hopefully, oh great. Sorry, I'm wearing like canvas shoes and I just walked along the path and it was obviously a bit wet and now I've got wet feet. Great.
Perfect.
But yeah, Jack's hopefully sorted or found a solution to his phone problem.
Yeah, so basically I've now got the login details for my phone contract because I'm on a different plan to all the other contracts. So I've now got the login details so I can do a 5 GB add-on. So yeah, I'm just really petrified, paranoid, whatever, of, you know, being out in Europe.
Scared.
I'm really scared. Now I'm panicking. If you know, you know. I just don't want to be stranded out in Italy or France. You know, I've got several internal flights within Europe before I go home and before my contract resets on the 6th of June. I'm literally in Europe till then. and I've got all these different flights and boarding passes and emails and stuff on my phone about accommodation, rental cars and all that, and I don't want to be able to not access that because, like yesterday, there was no Wi-Fi in the Catania airport, so if I can't access my stuff, I'm screwed. So at least now I should be able to access things and be able to travel freely.
And we potentially might have found a solution to the suitcase wheel as well. You can buy replacement wheels.
There's going to be another bit of DIY coming out of this DIY legend.
So yeah, that's just an update from us. Jack's got to go to the track this afternoon, so we're just having a little mooch around this morning, and then we'll head off to the track to do track walk, meet your teammates, all that.
Yes,
all
the generic weekend stuff.
We actually came on to say some important things earlier, but we got sidetracked. So, we've just been offered a lift by someone because we're just walking down this road that has turned out to be quite a long little road, to be honest.
Yeah, a lot of houses.
People probably thinking we're trying to hitchhike, but whatever. And yeah, when we were at breakfast this morning, obviously I mentioned yesterday about my skin, not skinning. And the bloke that we're staying with came out with this little pot of cream and was like, this is good. And he made me put some of this like spot cream stuff that he obviously makes or bought or whatever on my face. So obviously he was trying to be nice, but yes, thanks for drawing attention to my spotty face. Was that it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think it's just nice, you know?
Yeah, it was nice.
Hopefully
it works.
You know, I think there's something nice about not staying in a generic chain hotel and having that kind of personal, you know, unique experience. I just think it's quite cool.
Oh no, we forgot! The shower!
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so we went out for dinner last night.
Yes.
And we stopped off in Lidl and we bought a couple of bits. And it was all very stressful, the whole thing, which is why we didn't film. But basically, we came back. Like a garage there. We came back from dinner and we was faffing around trying to find flights for Jack's parents until about 10 o'clock this time, so obviously 9 English time. And I was like, right, I'm gonna have a shower. And I'm used to having baths at home. And because obviously Jack always comes to Italy, I was like, oh Jack, can you just like make sure the shower's like set on the right thing? Because I don't know, being Italy, maybe they changed the hot and cold from whatever. Anyway.
They do drive on the other side, so you never know.
Jack came in and the water was freezing. And we ran it for like a good 5-10 minutes. On and off, obviously not straight. And it just wasn't heating up. And by this point, I'd already like stripped off ready for the shower. So I'm just standing there in the nude, waiting for the bloody shower to warm up. Didn't. Tried the tap, tried the bidet, like just to see if it was maybe just the shower having the problems with the water. Nothing. Got to 10:15 and I was like, Jack, can you please ring the bloke? Because he said, any problems, ring him. So we WhatsApp messaged him and he didn't reply.
2 chicks went through, no reply.
I was like, you're gonna have to ring him. So it got to about 25 to 11 and we agreed to call him.
We called him, he went straight through. He was like, ah yes, acqua calda. Because obviously Italian, he's like, his English is okay, but it's a bit broken and he kind of switches
They start
to Italian.
talking to Italian.
Anyway, he was like, yeah, 1 minute, and he did a couple of things, must be opening a valve or turning something on in his place, which is all part of the same building.
Yeah.
And then he was like, yeah, 2 minutes, 1 minute. I was like, okay, so we wait 5 minutes, and then he just like hung up, and then yeah, we just waited like 5 minutes, and it was fine. And
then yeah, it was all good, and it's all good now. But yes, we were just looking at each other like,
literally, what else can go wrong today?
We can't wash. We can't not wash for the next 4 days, but there's no way I'm getting in that cold shower.
Because the room was so cold as well. Don't get me wrong, I'm all for like cold showers at home, but back home it's quite warm, so.
We were thinking how we would make it through the night if we did have to cold shower and then go into a cold room. Not us walking down the side of a busy road, just got beeped at, but pretty sure this is a typical English thing to do. So we were literally probably like 300 meters from our place. We just walked along the main road, as you would have seen. and as we got to the entrance bit to the road that we're staying on, our guest manager person, whatever, who owns the house, was coming out in the car, and obviously had seen that we had gone for a walk, and he mentioned about coming to this like almost viewpoint, I suppose, and just took us in his car along a very bumpy, beaten up old track with lots of like tight verges and things, but he didn't care, and now he's just left us up here.
At least he didn't kill us.
So this is the views.
So as you see there behind the clouds where I'm pointing is Mount Etna. Obviously half of it's covered by cloud. And we're just up, yeah, this viewpoint of the area. Beautiful.
So I don't know if you can
I'm
see.
kind of up in the clouds almost.
He said that you can see all the way around, so I think we're going to wander round again. Don't mind me just out of breath. But that is Pagusa Lake, you say?
Yeah, that's Pagusa Lake, so the racetrack is round the outside of the lake.
You can, if you've got eagle eyes, you can see the red curb. So that's where we're going this afternoon. We might as well start our walk there now.
Just walk there now. We could drive the car up here and then just walk down to the track.
We've got quite a long walk back to where we're staying now, because it was up a very long, steep hill. But yeah, this is what we were saying, something nice about staying where we're staying, because it's a real personal experience, and we wouldn't have got this if we'd have been staying in, you know, the abroad equivalent of a Premier Inn or Travel Lodge. Taken a wrong turn, because obviously, as you would have seen, we were up in the mountains looking over at the lake, which was quite far in the distance, and now we seem to be pretty much upon it, but our hotel is that way, so
a couple of miles away.
we're a bit lost. And this is all we have: no phone signal, no maps.
Yeah, so I think we'll go back the way we came, about 1.5 kilometres up the hill, and then back onto the road we got taken up. And
it was cold this morning, so I'm dressed in long sleeve everything and jeans, and I'm sweating. It's so hot. After an extra 5.5k and coming back in the wrong direction to where we were taken, we're finally back.
Yeah, so we've basically done a little tour on foot of the whole of Sicily.
Yeah. Let's see the watch. Can't, I don't know if you can see. No, 10.6k, and that's without recording everything. I need to get changed and rehydrate. So we just went to Lidl, again, just down the road, just to grab a bit of lunch. It is quite late now, it's 3:25. But we had quite a big breakfast, and we just got some salad, a little yoghurt, we've got some fruit, some crisp, biscuit, and Jack got himself a sandwich as well.
Yeah.
So we're just going to have this, and then we're going to head to the track. So we're just wandering around the grounds now. So there's lots of lovely gardens. These must be some more huts and little places to stay. I think there's a lake, didn't you say? Oh yeah, look, there it is. Pond? That's not a pond. A river. Don't know.
River.
Who cares? Some water. I feel like it looks like a wedding venue, you know? Hint, hint. We were saying it feels like the scene of Mamma Mia. I don't know if you can see this, but there are some, we think they're what, tortoises now then? Turtles. There's like 4. And there's some baby ones just outside where we were having breakfast. Don't know if you can see.
Here's our friend.
What, the dog? Oh.
Ciao, doggy.
Hello.
Ciao, cane.
Are we your best friends?
Hey, handsome. Hi. Hi, buddy.
Good morning, everybody. It is a couple of days since we last spoke to you properly. I've got a few clips from yesterday, but yesterday was the test day, so it was 4 hours of testing. Jack obviously shared the driving with his teammates, just practicing various different things. How do you think it went, Jack?
Yeah, pretty good. For me, it's the second day. Well, you know, second day in the current version of the Lambo GT3. So I'm quite happy with how it all went. Just nice to kind of finally meet and get to know my teammates. You know, they're both less experienced within GT racing, so you know, probably took a bit more time to get to where they were at by the end of the day. Got a bit more testing today before qualifying, so hopefully we can just chip away and get them slightly more on it and nearer where we want to be for the races. Yeah, I'd say good day. Absolutely crazy track. Not one you would obviously consider or think of, but yeah, what was that?
I don't know.
Crazy.
We've woken up to really stormy weather this morning. We've got no power in our little house, you know, no lights, etc., but there's lights outside, so we need to assess that situation later. And something, yeah, has just fallen on the windscreen.
Looks alright.
We got no, whoa, that person's reversing. No washer fluid in our, you know, wipers, so hopefully we don't get blown away today. So again, I'll just film what I can, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
We're losing sight of the grandstand.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. Even the lights at the end of the pit lane.
Hello guys, here at the final night in the hotel for the race. Well, we'll give you a little update on today. Well, not really much to update you on. So we decided to sit out of the first practice because it was a bit damp and there was just no real benefit in us running. Second practice was wet. It was really good to get some wet running in the car. Unfortunately, it was really wet at the start of the session when I was in, so my teammates got a bit of slightly dry running, but anyway, all in all, a good session. And then basically the fog set in and the rest of the day was cancelled. So free practice 3 was cancelled just after lunch, and then we had the long wait until qualifying, which was meant to be at 5:20. That would run until 6, basically with the 3 sessions for all 3 drivers, and it was cancelled in the end, I think about 6 o'clock, 6:15, something like that, because yeah, the fog just never moved. So qualifying's been rescheduled for Sunday morning before the race. It's still meant to be wet and foggy, so we will see what happens in the morning, but yeah, provisionally Bit of a rubbish day. Done about 10 laps, but good fun in the wet. Corinne,
Hello.
anything to add?
No, obviously I took a couple of clips, don't mind us, we're just in bed. I took a couple of clips of the fog, so I will try and insert that over the top of this just so you can see how bad it was. Obviously from a visibility point of view, like you can barely see are they pit lights?
Yeah, the lights at the end of the pit lane, basically.
Yeah, so obviously in terms of seeing other people's brake lights and etc, you just couldn't see a thing.
The visibility was about 30-40 metres at best, and obviously imagine when you're going like 160 mile an hour, especially with the closing speeds on some cars. Yeah, not good.
Yeah.
Potentially not good.
Yeah, so we'll see what tomorrow brings, but obviously we got there really early this morning, about 8:15, and we didn't leave until probably about 6:30, 7:15.
It was a long day of not doing much.
And it was just cold, to be honest, because obviously I'm personally not doing much, and obviously Jack wasn't doing much either, so it's just cold and rainy, and we were just waiting for them to cancel it, to be honest, from like 2 o'clock, but they kept on, no, it's going to go ahead, or we'll review it in 15 minutes, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, we also just wanted to update you on where we're staying. So originally the plan was that we were going to check out tomorrow at about, I don't know, like 10, something like that.
Yeah, because the race is scheduled for a 12:30 start, so yeah, we didn't need to be there until
where we are.
10,
The breakfast is like between 8:30 and 10. So on Thursday and Friday,
yeah,
we had breakfast about 9:30, actually quite late, because we didn't need to be at the track till later on. And then today we missed it because we were up early, and tomorrow we were planning on going to have breakfast because obviously we weren't going to be checking out till 10. But because qualifying's been moved to 8:30,
8:30 through till 9, yeah.
and we've got to be at the track quite early again, so unfortunately we can't make breakfast again. So we went and spoke to the owner of where we're staying and just said, like, because it's pay on departure,
yeah,
for the REM, so we had to go and pay anyway. And then the breakfast here is really, really good. It's just like pastries, but they're like filled with chocolate or custard and a ricotta one.
Yeah, bit funky, but I like it.
And just fruit and ham and cheese toasties, etc, because we don't get breakfast at the track, so it's quite nice to start the day off, stock up.
Yeah.
Because Italians eat so late.
Yes, they do.
But yeah, so we went and paid the bill, and then we just asked if it was possible to just take a couple of pastries and some fruit just for the morning, because obviously we're leaving early. And he obviously either makes them, goes out and buys them, not sure, but nobody turned up to breakfast this morning. Because did you say that someone else was staying here?
Yeah, we
Is
think there's another person in the room next to us who's also at the track. So basically he had a whole tray of pastries, like I think it was probably like 6 or 7.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, well, these are from today. And he even offered, bless him, oh, do you want fresh, But we were like, no, if those ones there are going to waste, and they were for us anyway. Well, obviously not us and other people. We're like, yeah, we'll have them. And so he kept one for himself and
gave us some bananas.
Literally wrapped up the rest of the tray. So we got like 6 pastries and 3 bananas.
Yeah. And then he gave me a little pot of, I think I mentioned it the other day, but if I didn't, basically he was trying to advise me on my skin. Hopefully you can see it's improved a little bit since the very first clip Wednesday, but basically he has this special like cream stuff that I think he makes, and he gave me some the other day to like test just to see how obviously my skin reacted to it, and he gave me a little pot of it to take home. So
there will not be a link in the bio or a discount code because it's a one-off pot.
But I just thought that was really sweet, and we both said we're really sad to leave because he's genuinely
really
nice
like
guy.
An uncle. I honestly feel like he's like an Italian uncle.
And Jack's parents couldn't make their stay, and he was like, oh, they come stay here when they come to Sicily.
Yeah.
It's just the Italian way, they're so polite, and he said it's the correct thing to do, but obviously most English people would be like, I don't care if you stay here or not.
Yeah. Genuinely like nice guy, nice couple, friendly, helpful, and I think we could shout it out on the video. Anyone who is ever in this way in Sicily, Villa Pastorelli, 100%
Mr. Pastorelli himself.
worth staying here. Yeah, you get good service, you get above and beyond help and assistance.
And we had no power this morning, as we said earlier, because he told us that a tree or something had fallen on the cable and snapped it, and he was apologising as if it was his fault. Just so cute.
Yeah.
And offered to change our room and everything.
Yeah, so there we go.
Yeah, so we'll check in with you tomorrow. Hopefully
be a bit more exciting stuff going on.
Yes, better things to show.
So we want fila 2.
So we will greet them when they come back round.
Yeah,
il pilota ecuadoregno sulla Lamborghini della Bonaldi, mentre c'è una bella lotta adesso tra la Lamborghini, la numero 16, quella di Jack Bartholomew, e la BMW dello svedese Nilsson, che è davanti di un giro nei confronti della vettura dell'Imperiale, che non si accorge di avere la BMW a proprio fianco e va a chiudere la porta. È chiaro però che Jack Bartholomew a non dare strada al...
Hello everybody, so checking in after a very wet race day and qualifying. So we will start off, Jack can give you a little rundown of how today went for him, and then we'll update you on the disasters that continue.
Yeah, so overall I'd say a positive day. The fog rolled in again and the heavy rain, so in the end the decision was made that it would just be a singular qualifying session, so one driver from each car would get a session. As currently, well, and hopefully obviously throughout the season, as I'm technically leading the car, I'm the fastest driver of our car. I was in for qualifying and managed to qualify third overall and obviously first in our class, which is really good. Wasn't the perfect lap, was pretty tricky out there, very wet and low fog, so visibility was terrible, so I made a couple of mistakes actually on judgment of distance for some of the braking zones. Hands up, made a mistake. So that was overall really good. Car felt great, loads of confidence, and yeah, quite happy with that. The race was then delayed about 2 hours in the end because of rain and all others and the fog and whatever. In the end it did get going, like I say, 2 hours late. My two teammates had a bit of a tricky start because they're both inexperienced in GT racing, and the track started wet and was starting to dry, so I think they just struggled with the changing conditions and the kind of, you know, the changing grip and the changing pace as things started to get a bit quicker as it dried out, but it was still wet the whole, like wet tyres the whole race. So by the time I got in the car, we were, I think
ninth started.
About ninth and maybe a lap or two down, and I think we ended up sixth overall and fourth in class, which was respectable for the pace and where I was handed the car. the gap was just too big to close down anyone in front. But I did have a really good stint, great 45 minutes in the car, really pushing hard. Had a bit of a race with one of the cars that I think actually was third overall in the end. So shows that the pace was there to be on the podium, you know, from my side of things anyway. We just got a bit unlucky with how the race unfolded. And also it hasn't helped this weekend, the balance of performance, so I'll probably go into more detail about this in another video. In fact, let's do it now.
Yeah, do it now.
Basically, in GT racing where you've got different manufacturers, obviously they all different sizes, different weights, different engines, so there is what's called a balance of performance, as in certain cars have either extra weight added, or they have, if it's a turbocharged car, they'll have their boost limited or whatever. And if it's a non-turbo car like the Lamborghini, you have different restrictor sizes for the exhausts. So basically, they try and make it as fair as they can, but inevitably it never works. And there's always going to be someone who is really quick and some others who struggle. And unfortunately at the moment, or this year, or whatever, at the moment, the restrictors we've got in the Lambo just isn't great. And all weekend we've been between 6 and 10 kilometers down the straights down to the BMWs and the Ferraris. So in the full wet, hence like I say, we qualified third, it's not such a big issue, because in the wet it's more down to driving, and you know, carrying corner speed and top speed doesn't matter quite so much. But as the track started to dry, and in the dry-in testing on Friday, you know, it's so noticeable. And at a track like Pegusa, where it's all high speed, you just really are limited by what you can achieve when, you know, you can drive the best lap of your life, but when you're, you know, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 kilometers an hour down on the straights, there's not much you can do to make up for that. Even if you get the perfect exit, you know, drive the best you can, you're just fighting a losing battle. So yeah, to summarise, really happy with my own personal performances, happy with how my teammates have come on this weekend from where we started. You know, neither of them had ever done a pit stop race with driver changes, so, you know, from not even knowing how and what to do at a pit stop and driver change to actually doing a really good pit stop. You know, both, you know, when I was getting in last and just the two of them at the middle stop, it was really good. They both improved over the weekend, pace-wise and in confidence, and we managed to finish. You know, I mean, we had a close call. Halfway through the race, one of my teammates had a bit of a brush with the barrier, but, you know, we actually managed to bring it home. And yeah, I'd say overall a positive start to the Italian GT endurance campaign. But anyway, that's that. We managed to get that done and get to the airport.
Well, no, when we were at the track just before the race started,
oh yeah, sorry.
One of Jack's teammates like sort of said in a passing comment, oh, when the volcano's erupted, and we're like, what?
As in Mount Etna.
And then they said
Sicily.
Mount Etna's erupted, and we actually went to see it the other day on a viewpoint. We could only see it through the clouds. I filmed a bit so you'll be able to see, but we were like, what? And then they said all the flights have been cancelled from Catania Airport, which is where we're flying from. Well, Jack was meant to be flying tonight and I'm flying tomorrow. So we have like an apartment tonight anyway, and we're literally staying a few hundred metres walk from the airport, so we just wandered over there, didn't we? And your flight's cancelled.
Yep.
Earliest flight that Jack can get to where he needs to be is Tuesday, but just trying to figure out where he needs to go now, given that he's going to be a day behind.
Yeah, so basically I've got a week-long event, which in theory doesn't actually officially start with customers until Thursday, but there's the process of I've got to collect a car with my colleagues. We've then got to drive from Bologna, where the Lamborghini factory is, down to Rome, which is like 3.5 hours. And then there's a couple of days of setup and meetings and sorting out, because it's a big event, and hopefully I'll be able to film some and show you some of that maybe in another video. But yeah, my flight's been cancelled. I had to, as it is, this race season was planned after this event, so I had to fit it in and then try and sort a flight from this airport to Bologna. It's been cancelled, so the earliest flight I could get was with a different airline on Tuesday morning to Bologna, but now, talking with my colleagues at Lamborghini, they're now saying, oh well, maybe someone else can collect my car from Bologna. and I should just fly straight to Rome. But obviously, like I say, I've booked this flight as a backup, and really I'm now leaving it down to them to talk with the other people, the people in charge of the event, and really it's up to them. If they want me to fly to Rome, that's fine. But so my original flight I booked has been covered. I've now cancelled that and rebooked this next one, so if they want me to fly to Rome, they can pay, because I'm not paying €400 to change where I'm
And
flying
that's
to.
providing it goes ahead, because
Yeah,
at this precise moment in time,
flights tomorrow.
my flight is tomorrow morning back to London Gatwick, and at the moment it's going ahead, so fingers crossed that does happen, because I could do without the aggro, to be honest, and I've got to get back to work and just generally, you know, sort myself out and get ready to go back to the office and back into a routine at home. So hopefully, like I say, fingers crossed mine's okay, and hopefully Jack can find a solution, because neither of us want to be stuck in Italy by ourselves, but just full stop.
Well, yeah, like I say, I've got this event and then some other events as well, so it won't have a knock-on effect to the other events, but it's just, after the week we've had, it's just like, it's just the next thing.
And so we've literally had, just to summarise to you guys, we had, our flight was delayed from London, Jack's suitcase wheel broke, the rental car company ripped us off massively. Jack's parents' flight was cancelled. They then couldn't get out here to watch the race.
But we spent loads of time and effort trying to find them an alternative flight.
Yeah. Then qualifying was cancelled and brought forward, which meant we missed breakfast.
We missed breakfast, and Saturday we did a total, I think I did a total of about 8 or 10 laps, and we were there from 7:30 or 7:45 until about 6:30 in the evening.
Yeah. And, you know, we just generally didn't get much
And
stuff done because the weather was so bad.
Today was delayed.
I didn't pack any waterproof shoes, so my Vans are like so disgusting. I could barely get them off my feet because they were so wet. And now the flights are cancelled, so...
Yeah, so like I said, I've got this new flight booked, and I'm going to try and extend this hotel room another day, but it's kind of...
It's literally
it's
a bed.
annoying because I don't really know, you know, like I say, I've said to my colleagues, like, this is like a backup plan, like I've got, you know, as a last solution, this is my option. I can be in Bologna at this time and then be in Rome by, you know, midday, early afternoon, Tuesday, but now I can't really relax tomorrow because I feel like I've got to be up early and on my phone, because suddenly they might say, oh, okay, well, this is the plan.
Now.
You're now flying to Rome at this time. So obviously I'm near the airport, but it's just a bit of a pain in the backside, to be honest, because I like to be planned and organised, and I feel obviously the Italians are very relaxed and very much like, yeah, we'll sort it tomorrow. So I want to know now what I'm doing. So,
yeah, but if he gets stuck here, then this is the extent of the room. There's the door. This is a TV. There's the toilet. Jack left the toilet seat up. And there is the little kitchen area, and we're just on the bed. So not much room to move around, and I feel Jack will get a cabin fever. Fever? And we've dropped the rental car back. So in terms of obviously food and getting places, he's literally stuck here.
there's the airport.
And potentially so am I.